Good afternoon on what is a mild, bright and sunny day. It is Monday the 18th of March and I'm in the Read Nook with a nice hot cup of tea and a box to continue unboxing. And what I'm going to pull out of here is, let's have a look. Well, pull that out, you'll have a clue as to what's in there. Because what's in here, I've got a couple of books here. Cog Eat Cog and Brain Exploder. So these are scenarios from Games Omnivorous, the Portuguese publisher, best known for bringing Mouse Racer to a wider audience, but has done some other interesting scenarios and content and so on, some of which I get to see when I'm editing, some of which I get to see when I'm reviewing, in which case, which is the case with both Brain Exploder and Cog Eat Cog. Now these two scenarios are part of the Manifestus Omnivorous. In fact, they are the final entries in the series, and these scenarios always have sort of guidelines which have to be adhered to. They all have to be adventures, they all have to be system agnostic, they all have to take place on Earth, they can only have one location, they can only have one monster. They must include sophrology or osteophagy. They must include a voracious eater. The adventures must be less than 6,666 words. They can only be in two colours, and they have a lost rule that the adventures cannot have good taste. So, as with the other type releases for the Manifestus Omnivorous, here we actually have a normally we'd have like a plan or a cross section, floor plans essentially of the encounter location. Here we've got a conspiracy board, much like almost like a cork board or pin board up on the wall, and that's the wraparound cover. That's separate, but the thing is with that is comes with a rubber band, quite a large rubber band, that you actually hold it in place together, as you can see with the Cog Eat Cog. So let's have a look inside Brain Exploder. So this takes place in the sanitation department for classified pests. I've got an introduction by basically, you're employed by the sanitation department for classified pests. Fancy as it might sound on paper, it's about the worst job you've ever worked. Think regular pest control, but the critters you deal with talk, nest in the brains of other organisms to pass unseen, can digest anything from flesh to metal, and yearn for world domination. After a couple of months of this, you become pretty desensitized to blowing people's brains out with an electroplasmic fusion gun. So here we've got we've got a modern setting, weird science fiction of conspiracy, and it's more or less not so much a scenario as a game. You essentially see how you've got a guide here on how to play Brain Exploded 101, how to use the conspiracy board, and how to run the game. So it's more of a kind of a standalone role-playing game or mini role-playing game, storytelling game, that sort of thing, rather than a scenario. So if you want to essentially improvise, prepare the mystery, so on, there is advice there. And then we have, you basically choose one from every column, so the investigation takes place in particular locations, and then particular characters. You've got that table there for generating an investigation, and essentially why you've doing reasons for why you have this job, what you've got on file about these particular creatures, and what happens at the end. So you've got a scenario generator in effect there, and then you have a cast of characters. And this is basically, so we've got, you've got Sheriff, Lou and Order. Terrible pun. Even by my standards, that's a terrible pun. And then, you know, we have a visiting band led by, you know, Rick Underroll and the Plucks. That's as bad. So yes, so here we've got members of the cast, and they're quite detailed. You've got things like essentially what their knowledge area is, what they can always do, the mystery clause, how that figures in. So there we go. Let's see that. So yeah, quite a large cast in fact. And then locations, the suburbs where this is going to take place, districts and landmarks, the square, the Upton district, not so much the Uptown district. So you know, presumably you can have an Upton girl up there. The work fields, and then we have clues and gruesome turns to essentially clues to be found, and then gruesome turns. So essentially, you know, you kind of tilt the story, sending in another direction, unexpected. And here we've got essentially the keep up section. Here's what's actually going on. You know, core setup, mystery clauses. It describes how to set up and sort of run the mystery clauses, and then there's the back. We've got the credits and so on, and various details of the scenario. So that slots in place like that, and then you take the rubber band and you just slide it in place, so it sits in the middle and holds everything together like that. So yeah, that's Brain Exploder, a conspiracy mini game, which I can see sort of like one of those games that's kind of easy to kind of pick up and bring to a conventional run when you shot players, using the system of your choice. This is really kind of, I think, what it looks to be is a plot and conspiracy kind of setup supplements rather than a scenario, and I mean, and essentially you just bring in whatever mechanics that you want. So there we go. That's the last of the Manifestus Omnivorous from Games Omnivorous. So I obviously want to thank Andre for sending me these to review. Thank you very much. We'll get to this one and Cog Eat Cog very soon. And in the meantime, thanks for watching another unboxing in the Nook. If you enjoyed this, then please do click on the subscribe button down below. And of course, if you've got any comments or feedback, I do appreciate you taking the time to post those. And lastly, if you want to be alerted to get more unboxings in the Nook, where you will see me out here with a box containing a book or game or role-playing supplement, or in this case, a scenario from Games Omnivorous, which I will unbox and chat about to the best extent of my knowledge for roughly 10 minutes or so, all of course accompanied by a nice hot cup of tea, then please do click on the subscribe button down below. In the meantime, thanks once again for watching another unboxing in the Nook. I will be back again soon with another one. Bye for now.